Every day I am getting one step closer to having another healthy baby, and Caraway Home is helping me do that. Their ceramic, naturally slick surface cookware allows you to cook with minimal butter. They're very easy to clean, just a little warm water, you wipe it down. And the best part is that Caraway products are made without any toxic materials like BFASs, BTFEs, and a bunch of other things like I can't even pronounce. So you don't have to worry about that. Right now, visit carawayhome.com/TSFS to take advantage of this limited time offer for 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive to my Sarah Fraser Show listeners. So visit carawayhome.com/TSFS or use code TSFS at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. It's time for you to see what all the fuss is about, read about their 5-star reviews, and why so many TSFS fans buy Caraway Home. Order now.
Does Monday at the office feel like a storm? Not with Microsoft Copilot. That feeling when Copilot gets everyone up to speed instantly? It's sunny again. When Copilot simplifies complex data so your teams can act, that sun's shining on a beach. And when Copilot uncovers hidden insights, you're on that beach with your people, and you find buried treasure. That's Microsoft Copilot. Learn more at Microsoft.com/AI for all.
Survivor 46 is here, and so is On Fire, the only official Survivor podcast, and we have a twist this season. The winner of Survivor 45, Dee Valladares, will be joining us every week.
We're going behind the scenes of the biggest moments, the how and the why things happen, and the strategy and analysis you can only get from someone like me, a Survivor winner.
Listen to On Fire, the official Survivor podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, everybody, welcome to Rewatching Sister Wives. We're starting at the beginning while we wait for the end, which could be coming soon. A lot of people calling for the cancellation now with the tragic passing of Garrison Brown. A lot of people want the show canceled, and with the rumor out there that Sister Wives has continued to film through his passing. That one, this is their full-time jobs, guys, and 14 years. Probably one of the longest running reality shows, at least in current history for sure. It would be hard for me. I'm not on social media. Many of you listening to this have lost a sibling, a child. It is the worst thing ever to bury your kids prior to you. So I think it would be hard to go on. And that is unconfirmed from a family member. It does look like it's happening, though. So I don't think the show is going to be canceled. And prior to this, we already knew seasons 19 and 20 were in the can. But let's go back to season 1. Season 1, episode 5, First Wife's Anniversary. First Wife's 20th anniversary. And the first wife we know is Meri. Oh. Can we take a second and soak this in from season 1, where they all liked each other? They were all rooting for Meri, and now none of them speak to her. So, I think Robyn does. Robyn, at least at last we heard, the old Rob dog, she loved her some Meri, sort of. They talked here and there, but they weren't like BFFs, even though in Robyn's mind from season 18, they were besties, and she couldn't believe Meri was moving back to the bed and breakfast, and wouldn't Meri be back? Well, anyhow, at least in this season 1, things were great. Things were not great. And really what you think about from 2010 when this show started to 2023 when Meri left, or 2022-ish when Meri left Kody, it's a long time. Because we find out in this episode that they were having a lot of issues in their marriage. Things were off. Meri is visibly crying and upset about Robyn coming into it, feeling jealous, feeling as though Kody doesn't spend as much time with her, even though he has booked them this very romantic. They go to Mexico together. They film on their phone their vacation together. But prior to that, he takes her to this high-end, exclusive restaurant for their 20th wedding anniversary. So we'll get to all that because that's sort of the second half of the episode. And really, the episode starts with the infamous claddagh. Yes, the claddagh. So much drama about the claddagh. It's a good time to be watching season 1. And the claddagh drama is in season 18. We know that Robyn and Kody have David Yurman, and this is current. This is currently. David and Robyn and Kody have David Yurman, those horse rings. They have matching horse rings, and the claddagh is out the window. And Kody infamously says in season 18 in the barn dominium, where he wants to build a barn dominium, he wants to store all his trucks and cars and four-wheelers in the bottom and Meri live up above, like putting a horse out to pasture. Like, okay, I think that's what they did with Seabiscuit after, Seabiscuit won the Triple Crown. Here, we'll put you out in the barn. So they now wear these infamous David Yurman, much higher end than the claddagh. But we see this episode where Janelle, Christine, Meri go and shop for a claddagh for Robyn. And Janelle actually steps in because the initial one that they picked was like $130. And Janelle's like, that's a little high. That's a little high. If you got something I'm looking for the claddagh that you find on the boardwalk in New Jersey, down at the Jersey Shore. In one of I'm looking for the $20 one. Okay. So, and Janelle, they do a confessional after, and she goes, sorry, but I have to be the one to keep the budget in check. And that ain't a part of our budget to go 132. I mean, so at least they've elevated a lot. I mean, when episode 1 started, they had no money. Well, episode 5. When episode 5 started season 1, they were scraping together the cash. Not so much anymore. They're doing pretty well. So the infamous claddagh happens. The 3 women pick out the ring for Robyn to invite, Robyn to the family so she feels great. And they end up settling on one, and $100 was too much, so they end up getting one even cheaper. And, I do have to say, I really did love, this is a side note, I really loved the home, the original home that they had where they shot this show. Now, of course, they end up leaving Utah at a period of time because they, they end up having various, they go to Vegas for a while, which, is infamously where everyone feels as though the whole show or the whole family kind of falls apart, right? But in the meantime, now they're in Utah. And I loved that house because it's almost 2 houses or a little bit even like 3 homes, I think, because Meri, I think, sort of lives in the center in one. And I love it. I love the setup. They each sort of have their own homes and they're all under one roof. They're making it work. They've been together for years in this sister-wives situation. The home, I think, is really cool. I love the layout. Feels very homey and warm. Of course, we know when they leave, things go to hell. Janelle, the other big moment in this first half is Janelle confesses that she's not comfortable talking about sister wives in public. Often people ask her, tell me, are you married? And instead of saying, yeah, I'm in this polygamous sister-wife situation, she goes, yeah, I'm married and I have sisters. So she refers to the other women as sisters so she can avoid the conflict because in their area of Utah, it sounds like a lot of people accept it and then a lot of people judge it, which is so weird because to me, I've always thought of polygamy as synonymous with Utah. I guess people have judgment everywhere you go, but I would think I would have thought in Utah she'd feel comfortable telling everybody, oh, yeah, we're polygamous. I've got 2 other sister wives and a third on the way, honey. Like there's 4 of us. I would have thought in Utah that is the place where you would feel comfortable letting it all loose. We're part of that P tribe. She apparently is not. Then we have this very intimate moment, which I thought was also great, and I wish we saw more of this side of Kody. When did Kody switch? That's what I want to know from you guys. What season did Kody switch? Because Kody has a very intimate conversation with Mariah, who is now Leon. Mariah at the time of the show, who's like a junior, senior in high school. And she's in public school, and she doesn't want to go to public school anymore because she doesn't like it. Feels like maybe there's a little bit of bullying going on or she doesn't feel like she fits in. And she wants to go to this Christian polygamy school which is homeschool kids, but they've almost created their own school, which is very popular. I have family members that do this in Maine, not part of the Mormon sect, but hardcore Catholics. And they all get together with other homeschool kids. So she wants to go there. And Kody seems actually quite reasonable in this episode and says, no, I don't think that's a good idea. You want to go, because she says, I want to go to Annapolis, the Naval Academy. I want to join the Navy. I want to go to the Naval Academy in Annapolis. Very hard to get into. I've also had family members that have gone there. Incredibly prestigious. I mean, I have 27 first cousins. I'm almost like a polygamist, but my mom was one of 10, so that all from the same guy. But we're getting the same vibes. You know what I'm saying? So I've had cousins, many cousins that have gone to Annapolis Naval Academy. Very, very prestigious and relatively tough to get into, I believe, unless you are legacy, which means your parents went. That probably gives you a little bit more sway. So Mariah expresses she wants to go there. And Kody very reasonably says, I think you need to stick it out in public school. Most of the kids that go to this Christian academy only get GEDs. And if this is really your goal to go to Annapolis, Naval Academy, you've got to have your grades up. You got to be in school. You got to really get that diploma. And they both start to cry, which was very... there's a lot of ominous things, I think, in this season. First of all, Meri's very emotional in this episode. I think because deep down, women always have great intuition. She probably knows this is the beginning of the end with she and Kody. And Mariah and Kody sort of look into each other's eyes like father and daughter. And I think she's growing up. He knows she's going to be leaving. He's emotional for her. I think very caringly that he doesn't want her to be hurt at school, but he wants her to have goals and dreams. And it seems like a very loving, in tune father moment. At this stage of the game, I'm like, great dad, great family. Hello, I'm on the polygamy train. Kody says he believes in her. He tells her how proud he is of her, and that's when he starts to cry. So such a beautiful moment. And then when they go to end this scene, Meri says, oh, that was so nice. I'm so glad this went well. This was sort of the surprise we wanted to talk to you about. And he goes, oh, I thought you were going to tell me you were pregnant. Ugh. Punch in the gut to me. I obviously, I'm trying my second round of IVF here at 42 and trying to have another healthy baby. Very hard. Very hard. So I take it a little bit as he's always, I think, jabbing Meri a little bit about when are you going to do something? When are we going to do something about getting you pregnant? And we learn more about that in this episode as well. Okay, so that felt like a little bit of a punch in the gut. We're introduced to Kody's hair. The next phase is their infamous date at this very famous Utah restaurant that looks like a little mini castle. I loved so much action in this episode. Loved everything about it. So they're getting ready. Meri looks so great. She looks just adorable. She's in a little dress that's blue and white, and Kody's getting ready. And we're really introduced to Kody's hair, which has throughout the years, as some of you Uber fans know, been dubbed the fifth wife because Kody loves his hair. And we find out why. It's a little personal to him because all of his brothers are bald. He's sort of going bald because we see the receding hairline, but he's managed to keep his hair, and he is very proud of that. He loves it. He puts mousse in it and gel and sort of flips his hair down and back up, dips it around. He's thrilled to have that hair, honey. And fusses with it for a while. I call him the no-Zempic, been on Ozempic doctor. I'm talking about Dr. Applin and his wife who founded My Optimal Body. I am so happy about this. These are the first mindful eating-based doctors I have ever partnered with. They see patients nationwide, and they are seeing more patients who have been on Ozempic, and Ozempic has failed for them. What makes My Optimal Body so unique, and why am I endorsing them? It's because Dr. Applin actually looks at food additives, your addiction to food, mood, your mental health. They do a whole look at you, including your gut health. Many of Dr. Aplin's patients are working out, restricting their diets, and still gaining weight. Why is that? Because something's going on in your body and with your mind. Visit myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment. Be sure to tell them the Sarah Fraser Show sent you so you can qualify for a free personalized assessment plus a bonus free 30-day supply of their gut repair product when you sign up for a customized plan. Again, that's myoptimalbody.com to request an appointment.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
We know later on, of course, he loves to use a flat iron. Flat iron that, yes. So he's very proud of the hair. And then finally we find out that Meri and Kody have been having trouble in conceiving. We knew this anyway from episode 1, but we get into more of what's going on, of Meri's trying to conceive. And Meri has unexplained infertility. Now, this breaks my heart a little bit because this was 14 years ago. IVF, all these things have advanced. And we do hear in this, there was IVF in 2010 when this was shot. We do hear Kody say, I think we should move forward with IVF. Very interesting, by the way. So in the Mormon religion, anybody listening to this that's a Mormon, is IVF considered a sin? Because I didn't realize this, but in hardcore Catholicism, you know, I'm a Catholic. I'm a Catholic through and through here. I've tried other religions because when the Catholic Church, all the scandal came to light of all the sexual abuse and the moving of the priests, I just was like, ugh, I don't want to be a part of this. So over the years, I've tried other religions and nothing seems to stick. I think sometimes maybe what you're raised with. I love a mass. I love the quietness, the music, the ritual. So I'm still a Catholic, and I object. You know, I stand up and say, I mean, they're beginning to accept gay marriage and stuff, but I just argue with them when they go into it. And then they're like, don't argue with me. Actually, no one ever said that to me. No priest. Well, one priest did when we were getting married. He did say, we do not believe in gay marriage. And he was teaching a group of us, because you have to go through these marriage courses, if you will, to get married in a Catholic church. So he said, we don't believe in gay marriage, and if you'd like to debate or discuss that, you can stick around. I didn't stick around because I thought, it's legal, it's going to be legal. And if this church is going to survive, eventually they're going to have... Gay people have been going there for 1,000 years, for God's sakes. I mean, half the priests are. So, I mean, come on. Enough about that. What I was getting to is in the Catholic Church, hardcore Catholics do not believe in IVF. It's like what God intended for you is what you get, okay? You don't mess around with any of it. I don't believe in that. I think God created these amazing IVF doctors and scientists, and God helps those who help themselves. If you can do it, you have this option. You want a child, you keep moving forward, you're going to have a healthy baby. Okay. But in Mormonism, do they don't have any objections to IVF? Because Kody's all about getting IVF. And in 2014, we know 2010, Meri had gone to doctors, specialists. No one could figure out what was going on. And we see as they get ready to go on their romantic dinner and then on their trip, their 20th anniversary trip, they're having problems in their marriage. And one of the big discussions for them is this, are we going to have another child because time is running out? So at least we know the backstory of Meri's unexplained infertility. Now, Meri also brings up at the dinner that she has jealousy issues and actually creates a scenario where she says to Kody, how would you feel if I took on another husband? And I had 2 husbands. And Kody says it would make me sick. It would make me sick. Meanwhile, he's got 4. So, and he does acknowledge, again, I think he's likable. He's a little quirky at this point. He's dorky. And he says, no, I understand. I understand how hurtful this is to you. I know how awful this is. If it was the other way, I would feel absolutely sick to my stomach. Then they have this gorgeous dinner. They get deep. She says she stays for her entire family. All of the babies she considers hers. He apologizes that heartbreak happens in this process of polygamy and declares her love declares his love for her, and she's crying. I thought it was like a beautiful scene. They're at this dinner, they're looking into each other's eyes, and you think to yourself, all right, what? Still, I think this, I mean, huge achievement to be married to the same person for 20 years. So they really seem to have this, they have a conflict, they have repair. In that scene, I thought this is like a healthy, really good relationship, and he seems really into Meri. At this point, the only person, of course, because I've fast forwarded ahead, we all have seen season 18, that he doesn't seem super into, although was very attentive to her when she had Truly, is Christine. That's the only one you see a little bit, I think. But at this point, he seems very much in love with Meri. Then they head off to Mexico. And Christine says that being in a polygamist relationship, they're very supportive of Meri, and that anniversaries and birthdays are absolutely key because this is time alone with Kody, and it is very difficult to get time alone with Kody, I'm sure. I mean, he has multiple children at this point, and they have 14 or something. 13, I believe, and then they're going to get 3 more with Robyn, and then they have 2 more. So anyhow, it's anniversaries and birthdays are a huge deal. Christine makes it known in the polygamy sect. Then they go on vacation to Mexico, and it's shot by home video, right? Home video, like their cell phone video. They don't have a camera crew at this point, no budget. Although fast forward to season 18, this show is like a monster multi-millionaire show. They still have zero. I mean, the budget for the cameras is actually just as bad as 2010 as season 1. Are they drinking, by the way, in Mexico? Or are these mocktails? Because I thought they didn't drink alcohol until recently. But it looks as though they're at the resort bar, sitting there having a cocktail. And that is when Kody brings up to Meri and he says, I think that we should start IVF. And he sort of starts to tear up again, cry. And he says, this is it. This is like the breaking point. And he talks about the miscarriage stuff. And the miscarriage stuff hits me. You know, they got pregnant, and then a little beyond the first trimester, they lost the baby. And Meri does not really have any interest in IVF. I'm so curious. I really want to interview Meri. I want to interview every single individual on this show. But does Meri have any regrets about that? Does she wish she'd gone back and done IVF? She doesn't seem that into it, and I was curious why. Was she didn't think it would work, afraid of it? Why? But she's not really that into it. And Kody seems to kind of still press her and says that he hasn't been told no in a strong enough way yet to completely give up. He wants to keep trying that they have a child together. And that's kind of how the episode is left. I was also thinking the episode leaves, they get back from Mexico, and then we tease what's coming up the rest of the season. But I was also thinking to myself, could I go on vacation without my children? Actually, I think I could when they were Mariah's age, because Mariah at this point is like 16, 17. She's going to be a senior in high school, or is a senior. So, okay, then I could. But right now with my 3-year-old son, there's no way I could go on a week-long vacation to Mexico with my husband and enjoy it. Is that good for our marriage? Is that healthy for our marriage? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. Here's my birth control pills that I'm starting IVF actually. So I have to start taking my birth control pills tonight. Little reminder there. Interesting for me personally that I'm starting IVF. They're conversing about IVF. Anyhow. And Meri lives for her family. She says that she loves the other children. She'd be so sad and lost if it was just the 3 of them, meaning Kody, Meri, and Mariah. She loves the sister wives, loves the whole thing, but recognizes how hard it is. Love it. I think this episode gave us every single thing you could possibly want in a show. I like human conflict. I like when things seem real in a reality show. I like when there's dilemma. I enjoy resolution. I enjoy emotion. It had everything. And I think for me, it had a deeper meaning of what polygamy is like. The good, like Meri said, I'd be so lost. I'd feel so alone if I didn't have you and all these children and my sister wives. Yet she's conflicted about IVF and having another one of her own. And also she's conflicted about Robyn coming into the marriage and how emotional she is about the old Robster. I loved it. So good. This and Truly's birth, epic. At this point in the show, I would love to talk to producers. Did they know they had a hit on their hands by episode 5? Was that good? That good. Okay, be sure to be on my Reddit, reddit.com/r/The Sarah Fraser Show. We do recaps of the show there, discussions. You can talk about what you like, what you dislike. Oh, and tomorrow on the podcast, I am doing an Ask Me Anything. So if you want to post that on Reddit or on my Instagram, I haven't done an AMA and a reset in a while as to who I am, more about my show, but you can certainly ask me anything about my marriage, my work situations, drama with people, David Yantif, my husband. AMA tomorrow on TSFS. Bye, everybody.